If 2023 is the year of the super fight, then the September 30th Showtime pay-per-view offering between Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo fits in just fine. Welcome on in to Showtime's coverage of today's day one of a two-day double coast press conference tour for Undisputed versus Undisputed, Canelo versus Charlo. I'm Brian Campbell, one half of the award-winning Showtime digital series Morning Combat. But I got two champions along with me, 2003 NBA champion and the co-host of the Showtime digital projects, All the Smoke and Fight Towns. It's Steven Jackson. And you know this guy, El Diamante, the great Showtime analyst and former junior middleweight champion of the world, Raul Marquez. Fellas, in any other calendar year, you say Canelo versus Charlo. Wow, you're talking about the crown jewel of the extended summer. But this year's been Tank and Ryan, Crawford and Spence, Fulton and Inoue, Benavidez versus Plant. I can go on and on, Haney, Lomachenko. But Steven Jackson, when we're talking about Canelo Charlo, it feels different. It feels just a little bit different.
Yeah, especially you got the face of boxing in Canelo, and you got Charlo's going up 2 weight classes and really challenging himself, you know, to kind of advance Texas. You know, Texas need a win right now, but, you know, it's great for boxing to see Canelo and Charlo take this fight. I think everybody that's watching boxing is on the edge of their seats and can't wait to watch it.
We are here inside the Palladium in Times Square in New York City. Both fighters will be behind us just shortly to address the media, go face off with one another. But Raul, when we're talking about boxing history, this fight applies. The first time in the four-belt era for men's boxing, you got undisputed champion versus undisputed champion. 8 titles not at stake, but on the line in some way. But this is Charlo moving up to 168, daring to be great.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what you got to do. You know, you got to be there to be great. You got to be able to take risks. This is exciting. I mean, this is a super fight. For me, this is like the World Series, the Super Bowl, the FIFA, the Olympics of boxing, man. I'm so pumped up about this fight.
We are fired up to bring it to you, of course, September 30th, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and presented by premier boxing champions. You got the face of the sport in Canelo Alvarez, in many ways the Mexican superstar. But for Jermell Charlo, coming off of a 15-month layoff, this is a step up, biggest opportunity of his career. Stack, we all thought as boxing lovers it was going to be Jermell Charlo, the WBC middleweight champion. But the late switch-up of brothers, Jermell was ready to answer that phone. You have an intimate relationship with him.
Yeah.
He's about this life, it seems.
Yeah, you know, if anyone challenges his brother and his brother's not mentally ready to take the challenge, he's supposed to take the challenge. And he's been confident. You know, I remember seeing him Caleb Plant fight when Canelo fought Caleb Plant. He's like, I think I can beat Canelo. So here's your opportunity. I mean, being off 15 months, we seen it didn't work too well for Errol. You know, the layoff. So hopefully this is different, but this is a big challenge. And anything in any sport, you want to challenge yourself. You want to see how good you can be. This is a great opportunity for him.
Raul, when we talk about Jermell, the best thing I can say about him is he rises to the occasion. He's got a loss, he's got a draw in his career. He's avenged both by nasty knockout. Yes, he's moving up 2 weight divisions, but what about Jermell Charlo has you feeling that he's ready for this?
Well, I think, he's naturally a bigger guy. You know, he probably walks around 180, 185. I see him more like he's moving up from middleweight to a super middleweight. You know, he probably didn't fight as middleweight because of his brother fighting there. They would have to meet each other or whatever. So I think he's going to be able to carry that weight class. I think it's exciting to see how he performs with a bigger guy like Canelo that's been there as a super middleweight for many fights and even as a light heavyweight. And that's what makes this fight exciting. Can he do that? We'll see.
Yeah, both fighters 33 years old. Both fighters undisputed 4-belt champions, as we did in the setup to tell you here in this super fight in many ways. But for Canelo, guys, I mean, he's been here before, not his first rodeo. Turned pro at age 15. He's in year 18 of his career. Raul, we talk about longevity. It's not just to be a relevant fighter. He's been atop the pay-per-view structure in this sport for 10 full years. You just don't see that every day.
And you're right about that, Brian. I mean, he might not be in his prime, but Canelo is still a really good fighter. Yeah. Has he looked that great in his last couple of fights? Maybe not, but maybe this is what he needs, a challenge like Charlo to want to move up to 2 weight classes to get his titles. And sometimes fighters get motivated with situations like that. And I think that's what we're going to see in Canelo.
Both fighters are noted for their backbone, their ability to raise their game in key moments. But, Stack, when you look at Canelo, we can talk a lot about the commercial value, the ambassadorship that he is for the sport. But what do you like about his game inside the ring? Consistently matches himself against the biggest and best in the game.
Well, one thing I like about Canelo, he comes to fight, and he'll fight anybody at any place at any time. And one thing about it, like we talk about how long he's been fighting. If you look at Canelo, he's still got the baby face. You know what I mean? People don't understand how good his defense is. I've been watching Canelo fight for a while now, and his defense is very underrated. If you look at his face, you don't look like he's been boxing all this time, and that's a credit to how he's prepared and how he moves his head in the ring.
One of the big questions, of course, is what we touched on, the idea that Jermell Charlo is moving up 2 weight classes. He does have a big frame. He is an excellent counterpuncher, just like Canelo. Somebody's got to lead this dance, though. Raul, it's early, right? September 30th will be coming sooner than later, though. When you look at the X's and O's, what intrigues you about these two touching gloves together?
Well, I mean, obviously, we know Canelo's the bigger, stronger guy. He's been there solid for a while at super middleweight and even as a light heavyweight. He's going to have to impose his will, his power, his strength. He's going to have to bring the fight. And for Charlo, man, he's got to fight a very intelligent fight. He's got to be real focused. Do not let his pride, his emotions get involved. He don't want to stand there too long with Canelo and trade. For me, the way he fought Castaño times 10. That's the way he's got to fight Canelo. Can he do that? Can he hold those emotions? Because we know how Jermell can be at times. He wants to be el más macho. He wants to show, I'm the man. You know, those Texas boys, they want to show, hey, I'm the man. Well, I'm like that. You're like that. We're all like that. But you know what? He's got to hold back with that. He's got to hold back, keep boxing. The key for him is to box, box, and box.
Stay off that line. Stay off the line. You got to move his head.
Yeah, I feel out of place here as a Connecticut boy with these two Texas legends here, but Canelo's always drawn big in Texas. Jermell Charlo, one of the biggest stars out of Texas. This fight, of course, in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, come September 30th. Boy, can we not wait. But I guess you talked about the Castaño fights, a 2-fight series for Jermell Charlo, in which he was crowned the undisputed champion. But that first fight, a close disputed draw. It's really what Jermell Charlo has done, like I mentioned, in both of these rematches. First against Tony Harrison, then against Brian Castaño, making the necessary adjustments.
Yes.
And in the case of Castaño, Raul, stepping into the phone booth against the more maybe bigger, aggressive fighter and beating him at his own game in the rematch. How does that speak to Jermell's versatility?
Well, because, in the first fight, I think he was in the phone booth too long with Castaño. That's why the fight was a draw. And other people thought Charlo might have lost that fight. But in the rematch, guess what? He made the right adjustments. He was sticking and moving. He picked his shots. He gave him lateral movement. He was exchanging with Castaño when he had to, when it was safe to. When he heard him, he jumped him in the inside. He was holding on to Castaño. Walked him to the center of the ring, let the referee break him apart. He fought the right fight, and that's the kind of fight he's got to fight with Canelo Alvarez.
That, of course, was April 2022, the rematch for the undisputed junior middleweight world championship. Hey, that's a division, Raul, that you know a lot about, a former belt holder there, a 1992 U.S. Olympian to boot just there. But this isn't Castaño. This is Canelo.
Right.
Stack,
Right.
Mentally, how do you think that matchup changes here for Jermell? Because he's used to being the big dog. Lions Only is a great hashtag, and they embody it, the Charlo brothers. Canelo is a different beast, though, than anyone he's faced.
And believe it or not, they know that too. We all know who Canelo is. We all know the great and the face of boxing that Canelo brings to this fight. So Charlo definitely has to be on his A game. I think he knows this is the biggest moment in his career. He's stepping up to do something great, and you want to push yourself. And if you get a chance to beat a Hall of Famer, one of the best boxers ever, Canelo, you got to take that chance. But it's going to be the hardest job that you've ever had to do in your life. And, I'm glad we get a chance to see it and be there.
For sure. And if Charlo is certainly daring to be great by moving up 2 weight divisions, which in boxing history, moving up 2 weight divisions without a warm-up against a world-class fighter can go many different ways. For Sugar Ray Leonard in 1987, moving up to middleweight against Marvin Hagler, it went his way in the end. But Canelo has seen people before. Amir Khan is a good example. Move up 2 weight divisions to face him, and we saw what happened there in a devastating 1-punch 6-round knockout. Raul, from a physical standpoint, how demanding is this going to be for Jermell Charlo?
Well, I mean, let's be real. Like, Amir Khan is no Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo, you see the size. He's got the height advantage. He's got the reach advantage. So he's got some things over Canelo. And I'm just going back to the same thing. He's got to fight a very intelligent fight. You know, impose his size too at times, his power, manhandle him, maneuver him with his jab. He's got to get that respect early in the fight and let Canelo know, hey, I got some power too. I'm strong. But at the end of the day, he does not want to go toe-to-toe with Canelo.
Very few end up wanting to do just that there. But if daring to be great, like we said, for Charlo has been a theme for this fight. For Canelo, well, that's been a theme for his great career. We're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of his first pay-per-view fight against Floyd Mayweather. He's fought Miguel Cotto. He's fought Triple G 3 times. He's fought just about anybody across multiple weight divisions, including guys as big as 175 pounds, where he knocked out Sergey Kovalev to win a light heavyweight world title in 2019 and came up just short against Dmitry Bivol, trying to do the same thing just last year. We did tease around the idea that at 33, Canelo, still one of the best pound for pound in this game, but is he at the same level, let's say the last time we saw him on Showtime pay-per-view in the fall of 2021, when he knocked out Caleb Plant to become the first 4-belt super middleweight undisputed champion? Raul, it's not that Canelo's gotten old overnight. He's fresh off a fairly comprehensive destruction of John Ryder in a Mexican homecoming. But how different do you think his game has changed and evolved with age in recent years?
Well, like I said earlier, he's definitely not in his prime, but he's still a really good fighter. Canelo's an elite fighter, and I think a challenge like this is going to motivate him to rise to the occasion. You got to understand, he's been a pro since he's 15 years old. Woo. All those training camps, all that wear and tear. What about the big fights? He's still gotten punished by certain fighters, you know. So that takes a lot.
The Triple G fights are
the Triple G, exactly. 3 Triple G fights. Kovalev, a bigger, stronger guy, still getting hit by a 175
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get started.
That takes a lot out of a fighter. Again, I'm not saying he doesn't have it anymore, but he's definitely not in his prime. He's still a good fighter, and we'll see how much he gets up for this fight against Jermell Charlo.
Here's what I'm interested in seeing in just a few moments behind us on the dais when the two fighters are going to speak to the media again. They're going to face off for the first time, is the mindset. Guys, when I say any Charlo brother, when we're talking about Jermell or Jermall, they're at a 10 out of 10 in intensity when they wake up and get out of bed in the morning. Canelo, the consummate professional, but if you poke the bear, as Caleb Plant tried to do, they threw punches at their first press conference. As a reminder, Canelo will trade back with you. He'll bring that intensity. Do you expect any extracurricular type of things today, Stack, when it comes to that early seed planting mentally of I'm here to fight, I'm here to win?
Well, I think with Canelo, he's been doing this so long, we know Canelo's coming in focused. He's the ultimate professional. You know, I don't even think he wants to get involved in the talk and all that. He knows he's going to come to fight. He knows if I'm fighting, I'm selling the fight. I don't have to do the antics. I think with Charlo, sometimes you need, where we come from, you need those certain things to get you going. Like you probably want to start some mess, you know, to keep it going. But I think at this point, I think the respect is mutual. And the way Canelo is being a professional, I don't think Charlo will come in and try to be negative or start something. I think they just want to fight.
Raul, I want to go to you. You're the ex-world champion here. Typically, the going statement is you don't want to bring emotions into the ring.
Right.
I feel like Jermell thrives off emotions. They both brothers have been very vocal in saying they don't like to be labeled as emotional fighters, but it seems like they do use that as fuel.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, every fighter is different. You know, every fighter has his own way of getting pumped up, and I do believe that the Charlos use that rage, use that anger that they have, and that's the way they get pumped up, and that's when they're very dangerous. So we'll see what happens. You never know what's going to happen with this guy.
I wonder what type of angle Jermell could take mentally here, as this is, in my belief, this is the first moment of the fight. Yeah, the fight's going to take place, Showtime pay-per-view, September 30th. But I don't think this doesn't matter. I think what we're going to see today, the face-off, the words that are exchanged, it's going to plant some type of seed for what we're going to see. T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, September 30th. Only on Showtime pay-per-view. And, of course, brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. It has been one heck of a calendar year for boxing. All those super fights that we mentioned off the top. And, boy, does Canelo versus Charlo belong in that same group of amazing fights. It's been such a great year for boxing. Let's find out in just a moment what Saul Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo have in stake for us right here. The first time in men's boxing history that two reigning and defending 4-belt undisputed champions will face off. One at 154 pounds, one at 168. Check. We're going to go up to the big boy divisions there of super middleweight to do that. Guys, I am fired the heck up.
I just like saying
I can't wait,
Saul.
man. I cannot wait.
I like
cannot
saying Saul
wait
Alvarez.
to see how this happens. You take big risks, you get big rewards at the end of the day.
That's
But
right.
stay tuned for after the press conference. The three of us will have interviews. We'll chop up what we've seen. But for now, let's throw it on up to the stage for the first time. Canelo, Jermell Charlo, face to face. Here we go.
I always ready for a fight. Be undisputed. Very few fighters in history of boxing accomplish this.
Y'all know who Jermell Charlo is. I'm undisputed for a reason.
The first undisputed 154-pound champ.
What's next? Jermell Charlo and Canelo can easily happen.
We are on the cusp of boxing history. King Canelo Alvarez entering the ring.
En el boxeo hay niveles. Nunca he peleado con alguien como yo y
Ain't nothing easy in the ring with me. I got the speed, I got the power, I want all the smoke.
at the end of the day, I always win.
I'm not afraid of no man.
Pues el que no arriesga no gana.
It's about pride. It's about legacy. It's about history.
Canelo Alvarez takes on Jermell Charlo. September 30th on Showtime pay-per-view.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Palladium in Times Square. It's Canelo and Charlo, undisputed versus undisputed. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet our first fighter with a total of 35 wins, 19 by way of knockout. He has held the WBC title since 2019 and has held IBF, WBA, and WBO World Super Welterweight titles, with recent wins over Brian Carlos Castano, Jason Rosario, and Jorge Cota. Fighting under the Lions Only banner, he is the fighting pride of Houston, Texas. He is the hard-hitting, undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world, Jermell Iron Man Charlo. Once again, the Iron Man, Jermell Charlo. And now, the fighting pride of Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, with a staggering 59 wins, 39 coming by way of knockout, with recent wins over John Ryder, Gennady Golovkin, and Caleb Plant. He is the undisputed WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO Super Middleweight Champion of the world, the Hall of Famer, one of the greatest pound-for-pound boxers of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Saul Canelo Alvarez. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Ladies and gentlemen, there they are, undisputed versus undisputed.
Guys, face the crowd all the way in the back, Jermell.
ladies and gentlemen, Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your MC, Showtime boxing host and acclaimed sportscaster, Brian Custer.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Certainly want to welcome you all. New York City, Times Square, crossroads of the world. This is the New York portion of the press tour for Canelo versus Charlo. I am Brian Custer, the host of Showtime Championship Boxing, and listen, he's back. Canelo, back with the PBC, and it all begins with a historic mega fight coming your way on September 30th. It will be an unprecedented night because it will be the first time in the four-belt era that two undisputed champions in different weight divisions will face one another. It's a matchup of two of the sport's pound-for-pound best, two of boxing's most explosive and electrifying fighters. Canelo Alvarez, boxing's first undisputed super middleweight champion, will be putting all four of his belts on the line against Jermell Charlo, the undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world. Canelo will be making the third defense of his WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO world titles. Charlo will be looking to join the likes of Bud Crawford as the only male boxer to become undisputed in two different weight divisions, as well as boxing legends like Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Roy Jones Jr., who successfully jumped two weight classes and became a world champion. This is a super fight, and it's a fight that Canelo Promotions, a presentation of premier boxing champions, pay-per-view event that's being promoted by Canelo Promotions and TGB Promotions as well. Goes without saying, this is a fight that everyone wants a ticket to. You can purchase your tickets right now through AXS.com. Again, AXS.com. Showtime pay-per-view broadcast will begin at a special early time of 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 5 o'clock Pacific time. And you, of course, can purchase the fight live stream through Showtime.com/pay-per-view or the Showtime app. This fight, again, is going down Saturday, September 30th in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. And it is produced by the destination for the best in boxing, that is Showtime pay-per-view. Undisputed, unprecedented. Let me bring to the podium now one of the promoters of this fight. He's the president of TGB Promotions, Tom Brown.
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. This really is a very special press conference. Undisputed versus undisputed. And it's great to be back here in New York again, announcing another mega fight. It's kind of nice that this is kind of becoming a regular thing. But we really appreciate you guys coming out today and the support you give our events. September 30th will be another night of history. It's pretty damn impressive what both of these men up here have accomplished, both being undisputed world champions in the four-belt era. It's also great that we have the back-to-back trainers of the year up here with Eddie Reynoso and Derek James. Canelo Alvarez is truly one of the sport's best ever. He's a legend and a hero in Mexico, and he's universally respected. He's a throwback fighter that takes on all challengers. He's boxing's biggest star today. Jermell Charlo will bring everything he's got to this fight. He's cleaned out the 154-pound division, and he's beaten every fighter he's ever faced. He's convinced that he will win this fight. Not that he can win this fight, that he will win this fight. So we've got the makings of a great matchup. This is going to be a classic old-school fight. Both these guys can really crack. And I believe it's going to come down to who can adjust the best under fire, and I mean serious fire. So like Brian said, this is a super fight. It's a super fight you don't want to miss. Thank you.
Tom Brown, TGB Promotions, one of the best in the business. Let me bring to the podium now a man who, of course, led Showtime Boxing to really one of the greatest years the sport has seen, delivering mega fight after mega fight. He's, of course, going to give you more details about the fight, all the programming surrounding the televised pay-per-view portion of the evening. He is the president of Showtime Sports, Steven Espinoza.
Thanks, Brian. So far this year, Showtime Boxing has already televised 18 marquee events and much more to come. You know, year over year, we've been building and building with the strongest schedule in the sport, and now, I think perhaps, as Brian said, perhaps the biggest year in the history of Showtime Boxing. Coming off some of the biggest and most anticipated fights in recent memory, we have a special one on September 30th. Another matchup with historic implications, the first bout in the four-belt era pitting two undisputed champions. Regardless of who you're rooting for, there's no question that each of these two men are among the elite in boxing. Not just world champions, not just immensely popular, but both of them have historical achievements. Canelo, two-time fighter of the year, one of 5 Mexican fighters to have been world titleists in 4 different weight divisions, the only Mexican boxer to be undisputed. He has defeated 18 world champions in his career. Let that sink in. 18 world champions in his career. He's fought at least one world champion every year for the last 10 years. We're proud to have him back on Showtime, coming up on the 10th anniversary of his first pay-per-view, which was also a Showtime pay-per-view. Jermell Charlo has historic achievements of his own. The first ever undisputed 154-pound world champion in the four-belt era. He's defeated every fighter he's faced. He could join Terrence Crawford as the only male boxer to become undisputed in 2 weight classes in the four-belt era. But this event isn't just a big fight or a historic event. This is an opportunity, a rare opportunity to witness greatness. You know, that's a word that we throw around a lot, perhaps too much. What's the true meaning of great? What is the meaning of greatness? Greatness means not being satisfied, always wanting more. Greatness means not being satisfied with being an undisputed champion. Greatness is not being satisfied with being the first and only Mexican boxer to be undisputed, or the first and only four-belt undisputed super welterweight champion. Greatness is pushing for more challenges, more history, continuing to test the limits of your own performance. Greatness is taking tough fights, taking big challenges when you don't have to. These two fighters have the resumes. Their legacies are secure. Both of them are in the record books. Both of them have made history. Yet here we are with this fight, because each of these two men isn't satisfied. They continue to challenge themselves fight after fight. Either one of them could have taken easier fights and made a lot of money doing so. But that's not what they're about. This is about a fight for greatness, for legacy, for history. And it's a rare opportunity to see two great athletes in the ring on a historic night. Canelo Charlo starts at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. on September 30th. It'll be supported by 3 episodes of All Access. The first 2 premiere September 8th and September 15th, and of course, the epilogue episode following the fight. We'll see you in Las Vegas.
Thank you, Steven. Let's hear from the camps. hear from the fighters, hear from their trainers. Let me acknowledge gentleman to my left here, Mr. Juan Guzman, one of the assistant trainers there, of course, of Jermell Charlo, former champion as well. But coming to the podium now, the 2022 Boxing Writers Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year, Mr. Derek James.
Hello again. Happy to be here. I think that this is a fight that Jermell Charlo has always wanted, the type of fight that he always needed to launch him into superstardom. I believe that Canelo Alvarez is a great fighter. He has a great trainer. They've been very consistent over years, and that's really hard to do in boxing, is to be so consistent for so many years. So it's all about us coming in and doing what we do best, and that's for Jermell to come out of the fight successful, and it's up to Canelo to do the same. He's going to try to do the same. So for us, let's look for a great and exciting night of boxing, because I believe that's what it's going to be, a great, very exciting night of boxing. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Coming to the podium now, head trainer, also manager of Canelo Alvarez. He's a two-time trainer of the year, the latest in 2021, Mr. Eddie Reynoso. By the way, Felix de Jesus will do the translation.
Buenas tardes. Pues aquí estamos otra vez aquí en Nueva York. Creo que anunciando una de las mejores peleas que va a haber en los últimos tiempos. Los estilos hacen peleas y creo que esta pelea, tanto Charlo como con Canelo, tienen el estilo para hacer una gran pelea.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be back in New York City. And again, the great fights that we always have. And this is going to be styles that are going to be in the ring. And we're going to see the best fights like we always do.
Respetamos mucho el equipo de Charlo. La verdad, un gran entrenador, Derry. Charlo, un gran campeón. Un peleador con mucho corazón que se ha levantado de derrotas para seguir adelante en su carrera y todo eso lo hace más peligroso aún.
We respect the Charlo camp, his trainer, Derek James, of course, Jermell Charlo, and what they've done, he's recuperated from a loss that he had to come back and be in the big fights.
Nosotros de nuestra parte, como siempre, prepararnos bien. Sabemos que es una pelea muy difícil, muy peligrosa y pues estamos haciendo las cosas lo mejor que se puede y pues nos vemos el 30 de septiembre porque van a ver una gran pelea y van a ver a un Canelo muy diferente a las últimas peleas.
Again, we know it's going to be a difficult fight. We respect Charlo as a fighter. But from our end, we're going to get well prepared like we always do. And September 30th, you're going to see an all-out war.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Let's hear from fighters. Coming to the podium now. Man's got a record of 35-1-1. 19 of those victories have come by knockout. He's beaten everybody that he has faced. He's one of boxing's pound-for-pound best. Unique skill, combination, knockout power, sublime boxing skills. He is the undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world. He's known as the Iron Man, Jermell Charlo.
Long time coming, baby. I want to say thank you to Team Canelo, Eddie, Saul himself. They're legends in the game of boxing. They did it. They made it. They able to put on great shows and great fights, and just want to be the one that get in there and take away from all of that, though. You know, it's been years. Me and my brother been putting on for boxing, and the Charlo twins, and just it's time now. You know what I mean? A lot of guys worried about the wrong things of moving up in weight and doing this and doing that. When you wanna win something this big, you gotta risk it all. And this is a part of that moment. You know, I appreciate everybody that supported me, the whole Texas gang, everybody behind me, Derek James, Juan Guzman, they've been rocking with me. Showtime been putting on a hell of a deal this year, and I'm so proud to be one of the ones that able to get in there and step up and fight. So as we move around, we do these tours and have fun. I'm gonna be training my ass off. I'm going crazy with it and gonna play it smart. So y'all tune in, lock in, pay-per-view, September 30th. Be there, be square. It's finna turn up. We finna turn this shit into a whole nother ball field, and I'm excited for it. Like I gotta feed the family. We finna do it in a whole fucking different fashion. You know what I'm saying? Lions only. Love y'all, and let's go.
Coming to the podium. This man's got a record of 59, 2-2. 39 of his victories have come by knockout. Boxing's biggest superstar. One of the pound-for-pound greats. Surefire, first ballot Hall of Famer. You heard Steven Espinoza say he's beaten 18 world champions. He is the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Muchas gracias. Gracias a todos por estar aquí. I don't know if I let him translate or speak English, but I just wanna say this in Spanish because you know my people from Mexico want to know everything I wanna say. I just wanna say in English this: thank you for taking this fight. You're one of the fighters I ever see because you was a great fighter, defense fighter. You fighting with Chatito Jauregui from Mexico. We are in the same gym, so I appreciate being in this position right now. And thank you to everybody support me, Al Hyman, everybody involved in this fight. I'm very happy to be in this position right now and involved in this kind of fights, big fights. You know, Jermell Charlo is a great fighter, undisputed in his weight class. He take challenge like me. I always take risk. And we love being involved in these kind of fights. Al Hyman, thank you for these two, Showtime, everybody involved. I think right now the best promoters are Canelo Promotions and PVC. So I'm happy to be in this position right now. And thank you, and just stay tuned in September 30 because it's going to be a great fight. Gracias a todos por estar aquí. Gracias a toda la gente que siempre me ha apoyado. Estoy muy contento de poder estar involucrado en estas peleas grandes. Agradecido con Al Hyman, obviamente, con todos, con Showtime, con todos los que están involucrados en esta pelea, con el equipo de Charlo. Juan Guzman es uno de los peleadores que veía cuando iba creciendo. Eddie me lo ponía, peleó con el Chatito Jauregui, un peleador que estaba con nosotros, gran peleador defensivamente, y así que estoy muy contento de estar en esta posición y agradecido con todos. Y como lo dije en inglés, creo que ahorita las mejores promotoras, la mejor promotora en el mundo creo que es Canelo Promotions y PVC, así que muy contento y es un honor estar aquí con ustedes. Gracias.
For all of you out there, we had a little joke with Canelo. We said if Felix de Jesus doesn't translate him correctly, Canelo's going to give him a left hook to the liver.
That's why I can. I don't want to.
Go ahead.
I don't want that part. So
all right, let's talk about the fight, guys. And, you know, we'll start with the trainers. Derek James, you've been here before. You've been here, obviously, with Mel for Undisputed. Been here with Errol to become Undisputed. Talk to us about what is it going to take for Jermell Charlo to win this challenge against arguably boxing's best fighter?
So, yeah, what it's going to take is just Jermell be the best version of himself, go out and be focused in training camp, focus in the fight. I believe that he'll be able to get what he needs to get because of the focus that he has and him being himself.
Eddie, if you could, how is this challenge against Charlo different from any other that Canelo has faced?
Pues es un reto más. Charlo es un tremendo peleador, un boxeador que puede acabar una pelea de un solo golpe, que él tiene mucho corazón y creo que lo hace diferente a los demás.
No, it's definitely a challenge. He has a lot of heart, Charlo, and he could end the fight in any moment. So we got to be prepared for him.
Derek, any concern of Mel moving up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo?
I think that there's always a concern with any fight, regardless of the weight division that he's in. But him moving up, I think he should be comfortable the night of the fight. And I think that, Canelo's very powerful. So, I think that you have to be conscious of that. And he's very skillful and knowledgeable about boxing. But I think that you move up, you take a challenge because you dare to be great. And I think that Jermell is daring to be great. He wants to make history to be able to do it in 2 divisions. And to be undisputed in 2 divisions at the same time. And the only thing you do is you step up and you take the challenges.
Canelo, you fought on a number of platforms, got this new deal with PBC. Tell us why PBC and why Jermell Charlo as the first fight?
I think it's the correct moment to come here and fight with PBC. I'm glad to be here. I'm very happy. And why Jermell Charlo? I think he's a great fighter. He's one of the great fighters out there, and I think this fight for a long time is there, right? And I think it's a correct time to do this fight. He's a great fighter. I'm happy to be involved in this kind of fight, like I said, and he's a great fighter.
Mel, can you let the boxing public know what exactly is Jermell Charlo out to prove by jumping up 2 weight classes and taking on boxing's biggest star?
Well, I just really want to, quiet my haters, quiet my doubters, and turn non-believers into believers. I watched it by a bunch of different examples of great people in the sport of boxing, and I think this is the best time and the best moment for me. I've accomplished everything, and Canelo has as well. So by putting 2 great fighters in there, you get nothing but fireworks. And a lot of fighters talk about that, but you get true fireworks from 2 great fighters. And when a moment presents itself under this banner of PBC, it was a no-questioner. It was a no-brainer to make that happen. Yeah, we both got mandatories. We both got different things, but the hell with that when you got something big as this, that you could show the world of boxing and give the world of boxing such a performance. So I'm going to get in there and I'm going to train my ass off. I'm going to fight my ass off and I'm going to be intelligent. I know I'm moving up 2 weight divisions. Who cares? Who give a damn? But that don't stop what I'm finna get in there and how I do it and the way I do it. So I'm excited for this moment.
Canelo, I was reading about this fight, and a publication wrote this, quote, Canelo seems to have lost a step after the John Ryder victory. He could find himself in a real dogfight with the younger Charlo if he's taking this one for granted, end quote. How do you respond to that?
I think it's good people talking about that. No, it's fine. I think I don't look good in these 2 past fights, But But I know that. I know why. But I'm ready. I'm different. I'm different now. And I prepare myself for a different kind of fights. Every fights are different. And this is different fight, and I'm focused on.
Mel was reading about the fight. Boxing News wrote this, quote, "This should be an easy victory for Canelo, who will have the power advantage as well as being vastly more experienced," end quote. Your reaction to that?
Hey, fuck them. They don't like me. They ain't never liked me anyways. Them motherfuckers don't like me. They write all that crazy shit. They talk crazy about me. They talk crazy about him. They like, be proud of what's going on. Be happy for the fight, you know? But I don't care about them.
When you step in the ring, it will be 16 months since you last fought.
Right.
I know you've been rehabbing and all that. Will that be an issue? You always hear fighters say no, and then after the fight say, well, you know, it's been a while. The rust was there. Will that be an issue?
I don't get no excuses. I don't care about it. I don't got excuses. Whatever happens, happens. And I'm not coming in there to lay down. I'm coming to win. I come to win this fight. I don't care about all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Forget what they say. I care about none of that.
Canelo, social media obviously has been ablaze about this fight. His brother said, I'm going to let my brother beat him, and then after that, I got next. Is that your plan, to take on Mel and then Maul?
That's not my plan. That's not my plan for sure. And we'll see. We'll see, right? And I'm focused 100% on this fight, and then we'll see. No? And I know everybody wants drama and everything. You know, they want to fight each other right here and talking shit. But, you know, when two fighters are 100% focused like we are right now, I think it's going to be a great fight. No joke.
Is Canelo Alvarez, in your opinion, still, because obviously people have seen Naoya Inoue, they've just seen Terrence Crawford, and everyone has all of a sudden elevated them. Is Canelo Alvarez still, pound for pound, the best fighter in boxing?
Look, I think they all deserve being in the top. They all deserve being in the top. Me too, right? It's disrespect, say I'm the number one, or he's the number one, or the other is the number one. I think we all deserve being in the top.
Jermell, this question's simple. Yep. Tell the people and tell me why Jermell Charlo is going to win this fight September 30th.
My heart, my desire, my determination, and my guts, my will to win, speed, my power, my lateral movement, my ability, my training finesse.
Canelo, same question. Tell me why Canelo Alvarez is going to win this fight against Jermell Charlo September 30th.
Oh, I have everything what he say too, and I have experience, and I've been in this position a lot of times, so and that's why we are here, right? To find out. We'll see September 30th.
We'll wrap it up with this, guys. Last question for both of you. For everybody watching this, people who are going to go on AXS.com and buy tickets, come out to Las Vegas, all those people are going to buy Showtime pay-per-view. Jermell Charlo, what can you guarantee that they're going to get September 30th when you face Canelo Alvarez?
I know, guarantee we're going to get, it's just going to be awesome. It's going to be fireworks. It's going to be some lions rolling. That's it.
Canelo, same question. What can you guarantee the fans that they're going to get on September 30th when you face Jermell Charlo?
I'm going to put my everything there, my experience, my power, my skills, everything to win this fight. And I think it's going to be a great fight for the fans.
It will be an unprecedented night. For the first time in the four-belt era, you've got undisputed against undisputed, fighter from the different weight division moving up to challenge themselves to be great. It will be one heck of a night on Showtime pay-per-view, September 30th, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. You can purchase your tickets, AXS.com, AXS.com. Gentlemen, Let's have one last face-off.
There you have it. Undisputed versus undisputed. The Iron Man, Jermell Charlo, taking on Canelo Alvarez. Showtime pay-per-view, September 30th.
Right in the middle, guys, down here. Right down here, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Brian Campbell, Raul Marquez, and Captain Jack himself, Steven Jackson, back with you here in the Palladium Times Square. We're going to be sitting down with both fighters in a second. A lot of respect, though, between those lions up there. But, Raul, I don't want to talk about the respect.
Right.
I want to talk about the size. Jermell Charlo did not look like a fighter 2 divisions smaller in that face-off.
Not at all. You saw the face-off. You saw the intensity. A lot taller. He's got the reach advantage. And I really liked what you said, too, about the respect between both of them. But I just feel it takes that little one negative thing to spark up Jermell. You know, that he's like a firework ready to blow up. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right. Because like I said in the past, fighters sometimes need that for sure to motivate themselves, to get more pumped up. And I think let's see as the fight materializes, the whole training camp, wait for the weigh-in, we're going to see Jermell talk a lot more. And I want to see it. That's what makes it more exciting and makes people want to see the fight.
Well, not every fight needs to be all about trash talk. We just saw Spence Crawford. It was all about trying to be great, to be a legend.
Right.
There's a lot of that certainly in this fight. But Steven Jackson, you know Jermell Charlo quite well, and excellent, by the way, episode of Fight Towns on Showtime Digital. You did, not just with Raul, with the Charlo brothers. Were you surprised to see a very respectful Jermell to stand up there? He knows the gravity of what this fight is. He knows who that man across from him is, but very hitman-like, you know, professional up there.
Yeah, I mean, Canelo was real poised because he's been here a million times. You know, he's the guy. He's the face of boxing. And Jermell, he has to get up for the fight. You're fighting Canelo Alvarez. You're fighting Saul Alvarez. So you have a chance to do something great. You have to get up and get pumped. And I understand why the demeanor of guys both of those guys are different because, like I said, Canelo's been here. But, Mel, you have to get yourself up. You have to be pumped up. And like I said, in Texas, that's just what we do. We get ourselves going. We don't need everybody else to pump us up. I'll put a battery in our back. We're ready to go.
Ready to go at all times there. Port Arthur, Texas in the house. Steven Jackson. 8 titles around the waist of both of them collectively. Undisputed yet unprecedented. I like what the other BC, Brian Custer, did right there. Respect, royalty, a lot of that is in play. But when it comes down to it, as Raul mentioned, they're going to touch gloves September 30th, and something has to give. When we look a little bit closer, Raul, into what we learned from Coach Derek James, arguably, you know, if not Eddie Reynoso, Derek James might be the best trainer in the world.
Right.
They did.
Got to put Bomac in there now.
Got to put Bomac in there. Put some respect on Bomac's name.
Don't forget about
Ryan
him. Yeah.
McIntyre in the house. Many great trainers in this game, including yourself, by the way. I see your son, Gio Marquez, around here.
I'm working on it, yeah.
But I wanted to ask you about Joan Guzman, 2-division world champion, now being added to the corner of Jermell Charlo.
Well, you got to understand, Joan Guzman was a fighter that the Charlos looked up to when they were coming up. You know, he was a good boxer puncher. He was an Olympian, Olympic gold medalist, a world champion, and you know, having that champion guy in the corner with you gives you that extra feeling, like more confident. It gives you like, you know, I'm ready. This guy's a champion. I got Derek James. I got Joan Guzman, ex-world champion, Olympic gold medalist. I can't go wrong with that.
Well, now I have 3 champions next to me, as you see. Jermell Charlo in the house.
What's up, bro?
Jermell,
Undisputed. Undisputed.
great to see you. I want to show you that respect for daring to be great, as you are doing in this challenge.
Yeah.
But you just had your first taste of Canelo, eye to eye. What'd you learn about him?
I mean, you can't really learn right there. That ain't a learning part. They're just my opponent. Yeah, we'll see you in a month. Like, you know what I mean?
What does this mean to you? I mean, you've become the undisputed champion at 154. You've always taken on big chances. You've used everybody's name in terms of who you're willing to fight, and you showed that in this last-minute offering. What does this say about you and your legacy that you're building, that when the call came, you picked up, you were ready?
My kids can be happy. You know what I'm saying? This is a thing that I'm going to do and wanted to do and had this plan for years ago, and now that it's presented itself and I take on this big challenge, it shows that you can do things without you doing stupid shit. You could just take a big risk. You know what I'm saying? And I control my career as well. You know, Lions Only Promotion, we've been moving forward, and me and my twin brother have been putting on for some years now, and so it's only idea in time that the Charlos and the Canelos fight, you know?
Sure. Mel, you were so respectful up there. Like, I mean, that's not the Mel that I know. You always, have something to pump you up.
Yeah.
Brian Custer, when he asked you a question about the naysayers, the negative, that's got you a little bit pumped up. I mean, are we going to see that throughout the whole fight? Being respectful, or do you feel like you need that edge, to get you fired up?
I think I'm kind of like a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no disrespect for the man. The man's a legend. The man did his thing. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You got to give props when it's due. So, I mean, it's just a challenge, and it's a great challenge. You gonna beat me, yeah. You gonna say that. You gonna talk shit. Thank God for all of these old hating ass fans that always talk crazy about. They prep me into being able to handle an opponent like Canelo saying crazy shit too. So it's I'm humble. I know who I am, and I know what I bring to the ring. So he knows what he got on his hands, and we're gonna go in there and do what we gotta do.
Now, Mel, I know you got a lot of tools in your toolbox.
Yeah.
Can you tell us one of the most important ones that you're going to use that's going to defeat Canelo?
I know that jab going to be active. That jab got to be active, Lateral movement really got to be active as well. So we can't just sit there and take shots either. You know what I'm saying? It's about being smart in there. So using my high IQ will definitely put this fight in my hands.
We don't have to talk about really getting into it because you're fighting Canelo Alvarez. Like I said, you have the respect for him. We know who Canelo is. Yeah. But going into this fight, that's for a legacy and it's for family. Right. I know that's what you're thinking about. How important is that for you to not only take this fight for a legacy fight, but also stand up and to do something great again for the Lions promotion and for the Charlo family?
And the culture.
And the culture, exactly. So and protect us because we need one.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if y'all put it on my back, man, I don't need a cane, baby. I got it. Yeah. So, and I think of it that way. I'm going to hold it down for us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to make sure that I represent us well. Right. And this is it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need to be in there like Canelo said. I don't got to trash talk. Right. I don't got to do all that. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know me. You know my attitude. And I wish that I would have never presented such a negative or bad energy. But this is just who I am. Right. So I'm going to give y'all what it is. If you piss me off, I'm going to give you what you asking for. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Right. Yeah.
That's always what you've been all about. Lions only. I like the respect you have for Canelo, but we showcased a new part of your team up there in Joan Guzman, 2-division champion.
He been with me for a long time.
I like
already.
how y'all train too. I like how y'all train.
Then educate us. Yeah. Bringing him to the forefront now. How will this help you prepare?
Well, I had Juan Guzman in my team on training me my whole time that I've been boxing. I mean, not the whole time, since 2017 for real. Mm-hmm. And then we fly back and forth, train with each other. But as the fight started getting a little bit more serious or bigger stages, we brought him in. Like, hey, you need to be here way more. So Juan Guzman has been a part of this. And he's a legend to me. He was my favorite fighter growing up. Like one of my top 4, So
y'all training went viral too. That viral video y'all made, it's everywhere now.
Yeah, I've been peeping. Yeah, that was a while ago too. Yeah, think about it. I've been on my grind now. Yeah, and then the hand injury. Don't worry about that because I wouldn't even be taking no fight like this if I had to worry about a hand injury.
Nah, the hand
good.
Yeah,
and that's why we get an opportunity like that.
Yeah, indeed. Your brother was supposed to be in this spot. We've talked about it. Was a great surprise to boxing fans that the call came to you and you answered it. What kind of role though will Jermell play with you in preparation for this fight? We know he has the same aspirations to fight on this level, and hopefully he'll get that chance. But two brains together is gonna be.
Shout out Maul.
I don't know what he gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what type of support I'm gonna get from him, or if he thinking I'm gonna win or lose because he said he next. I'm gonna beat him and get a rematch. So I don't know what y'all talking about. And we in a whole different ball field right now. We got a whole different mindset.
Yeah.
Canelo, on paper, he's naturally the the bigger guy. He's been there for 168 for a while, light heavyweight. You know, he's supposed to be stronger. What bothers you about him the most? What you know what I mean? His speed, his power. Like, is there anything that concerns?
I mean, I know he got some power. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know he can move too. He can mix punches. I mean, we just gonna have a fight. You know?
Right.
Like, I don't think I'm gonna be too much worried about what he gonna do, and y'all gonna see that. Dang, we underestimated a little bit of Jermell Charlo. And that's what I'm coming to show. I like when I got haters and doubters and I got people that don't really know me yet. They don't really know how hard I hit. They ain't been in the ring with me. So hopefully after the fight, Canelo can let y'all know like I'm one of the most dangerous fighters that he fought.
More fuel to the fire.
Well, the biggest thing of respect that I have for you, for Jermell, is how you rise to the occasion when your back's against the wall. I'm talking about the rematches with Tony Harrison and Brian Castano, both knockouts where you brought it to another level. Yeah. What is it about you that when cornered, when pressed, we see an even more focused and even more dangerous version of you?
Can't leave it to question again.
I don't know. Like, I just have it in me. You know what I'm saying? It was built in me. It's instilled in me. I grew with this, so I got a fire in me, and I just want to keep that thing lit. As long as I'm in this game of boxing, you're going to always get the same you're going to get a different Jermell Charlo, of course, but, you know, I'm hoping y'all peeping the maturity that I've been through and the lessons, the life that taught me, and I'm growing and learning as a man now, you know what I'm saying? And so being able to grow as a man allowed me to be able to get in position to fight a fighter like Canelo.
I want to wrap it up with this. You had a little interaction with Terrence Crawford after the Errol Spence fight. Yeah. You've said at times the idea of, I'm going up for Canelo, we'll see what happens, but I'm still the undisputed champion at 154. How do you think your body will look in this matchup? Are you going to put on a lot of muscle? What is your preparation?
We're going to be able to be comfortable and walk around at a good, comfortable weight and not have to do too much worrying about draining ourselves, you know, depleting the body and stuff. And I think that's the only thing. And after this, we'll see what we can do with Terrence Crawford after I get my era of Canelo out the way.
Do you feel like, Mel, you're more like a middleweight, moving up to super middleweight, man? Because 154, like in the past 3 years, you had one fight each year, and you had to make it just one time 154. So I look at it like you're more like a middleweight coming up to
54 is just what I weigh in at.
Right, exactly. You only had to make it one time.
Only weigh in at 54.
That's what I'm saying. So you feel you're more like a middleweight.
Of course.
Well, Matt, we appreciate your time. This was an excellent close-up to get us pumped up for September 30th. And I liked seeing you and Stack working the ring there in Houston. I mean, you know, it's getting a little long in the tooth, but he could have been something special in this arena if he wanted to, right?
He owned it. Yeah.
Best of luck for you, Jermell. Congratulations on getting here.
Yes, sir.
The undisputed champion at 154.
It's a Texas thing right here, Dave.
Yes, sir. You see that.
See y'all in L.A.
Indeed. I'm on the outside looking in. Jermell Charlo, thank you so much for joining us. Fired up. Indeed, September 30th, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, undisputed versus undisputed. And, of course, we're going to catch up just the same in just a matter of moments with Saul Canelo Alvarez. And, Raul, I love when you got somebody daring to be great, but then you see that first face-off like we talked about. It didn't seem a ton of physical difference between them. Charlo taller. We expect him to fill out there.
He looks big. I mean, wait till he gets in the ring. I mean,
but strategy-wise, they're both natural counterpunchers in a way. I did like that Jermell said the jab's got to be a part of it. I've got to raise my workload in that regard. Somebody's got to take the lead though when it's two counterpunchers.
Yeah, which I believe. I mean, the jab is very important for Mel. You know, he's got to maneuver him with the jab, control him with the jab, control that distance with the jab, dissect with the jab, and just try to get some respect early on. I'm not going to get into breaking down the fight yet, but get some respect from Canelo. Let him know, hey. Let Canelo feel the power early on. He can't give away them early rounds. Sometimes Jermell gives away some early rounds. He's got to win some of those rounds. But the most important thing is the jab. I think the jab is going to be a key factor for Jermell.
I mean, Jermell's got that dog in him. Oh, yeah, we knew that already. Canelo, I mean, you can't be at this level and be the sustained success that Canelo has. But, Stack, when we're talking about dog in the sense of live dog, I have not actually seen the betting odds, but with Canelo's resume and with Jermell moving up, look, he's taking the big challenge. But when you're talking about a live dog, you're talking about somebody who can, like we said, raise that intensity. I'm not sure I've actually seen the best of Jermell Charlo yet. Is that something that you believe in as well?
Maybe we haven't. You know, we've seen him have to come back in second fights and get a knockout to get decisive wins. But Canelo is a different animal. You know what I mean? We can't use anything in the past and try to you know, compared to what he's facing September 30th. You know what I mean? We have, like you said, he has all the respect for Canelo, but we know what Canelo's done, you know, and as a professional and what he's done over the years in boxing and the respect that we all have for him. So anything he's done in the past has nothing to do with September 30th. It's just going to be a whole new ball game.
Raul, in boxing, you're only as good as your last fight. It's not fair, but when you fight 2-3 times a year, sometimes that's your reputation, and we know what Twitter can say. Did you like the way, though, Canelo Alvarez fielded the questions from Brian Custer about that narrative?
Absolutely. He's very honest. I mean, he knows that he hasn't looked his best the last couple of fights, but it's fights like this, a guy moving up from junior middleweight that has 3 title belts. He was trying to create history. It's fights like this that motivates a fighter, the face of boxing, to get up for that fight. And I really think he's gonna rise to the occasion. I think he's gonna have a great training camp. He's gonna train hard because he wants people to know that Canelo Alvarez, he might not be in his prime, but he's still a goddamn good fighter, man. He is.
But
he really is.
When you're the favorite for so long and when you're the star in the A side so many times, sometimes you're not used to those doubts. You've had some career reinventions of your own. I mean, I don't know if people talk enough about your Giovanni Lorenzo.
At 37 years old, I'm fighting a guy that's a knockout artist. People didn't expect me to win. It's an elimination fight to fight for the world title against a monster, Arthur Abraham. And I rose to the occasion. I got up for that fight at 37. Canelo's not 37.
Sure.
He's 33.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big, still 4 years difference. You know, so can Canelo rise to this? Of course, he's been there before. Like you said, Stacks, he's been there in this environment, super fights, many times. Nothing gets to Canelo.
Yeah, and Stack, I don't set that up to try to say that Canelo's necessarily being counted out. It's just where is he at in his pound-for-pound standing right now? You've gone through that, too, in your career. When you're a pro athlete at this level, do you like when there's doubt? Do you like when there's chatter that maybe you aren't who you used to be?
You love when there's fuel to the fire. You know, I think, you know, anytime somebody's doubting you or anybody's saying you can't do this, you want to prove them wrong. But like we talk about with Canelo, though, like he know what he has to do. He's been on this stage millions of times. And I just love the fact, I love the professionalism in him. And I can also relate that to Bud. Bud was the same way. It was real professional, you know, really ain't too much worrying about trash talk. I know what I have to do in the ring. And I'm just excited to be able to even be this close to Canelo Alvarez, being a boxing fan. You know what I mean? I've seen him, but I've never been in the same building with him. So today I'm just on some fan stuff today.
It's hard not to respect.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
What's
some fan stuff today?
Kind of like when you met me, right?
Yeah, exactly. El Diamante. I knew we was gonna be brothers.
I know, man.
Texas love right there. But Canelo Alvarez, 18 years into this incredible pro career. I mean, Raul, he turned pro at age 15.
Young.
Wow. I mean,
you're still an amateur. I mean, here in the United States, you're an amateur, junior Olympic fighter, and he turned pro at that age. But that's what happens in Mexico. You know, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a lot of those guys, they turn pro early. They see any kind of talent, they don't let them fight amateur. They turn them pro right away. They got to make money, and they got to move up the ranks. And we've seen Canelo obviously take it to a way, way bigger level where he's at.
Indeed.
Yes.
Champion in 4 different weight divisions. The first 4-belt undefeated champion at 168 pounds. Been a part of some of the biggest pay-per-view fights of this era. But Jermell Charlo is a different opponent. So echoing some of the conversations we heard during that press conference from your seat as an expert analyst, Raul, what is different about Jermell Charlo than some of those other legends we've seen Canelo in the ring against?
Well, I think if Canelo, I mean, I think guys like Austin Trout that come to mind, Irislanda Lara, of course, Bivol most recently. And if you want to go way back to Canelo's at the beginning, Larry Mosley, a guy that
Not Shane Mosley,
Larry Mosley, guys that are usually slick, awkward, fast, elusive, long jab, really good with the jab. Those are the kind of fighters that give Canelo Alvarez problems, and we've seen it in the past. With Lara, close fight. Austin Trout, really close fight. Larry Mosley, a long time ago, we saw what Bivol did. You know, a great boxer, puncher, bigger guy. Those are the type of guys that give Canelo Alvarez a lot of problem. The speed, the footwork, just the awkwardness, the maneuvering him, manhandling him with the jab, you know, the reach. That's the kind of fight that Charlo needs to fight, in my opinion. If I was training him, that's what I would do. You don't need to take a lot of risks with Canelo. Why do you have to go mano a mano, toe-to-toe? This ain't about who is el más macho. We talked about that. Hey, get the win. Do whatever you have to do to win. Yeah. You don't have to be El Más Macho with Canelo. Make history.
I think that the great ring announcer, Lupe Contreras, gets
he's loving it.
He gets a little envelope in the mail every time you say that publicly.
Oh, he's going to charge me. I know he's listening. He says, you owe me dinner. You owe me 10 dinners. Trust me.
Well, speaking of Canelo, we will be chatting with him shortly, but we talk about this crossover fight potential in this calendar year, which has been so great for boxing fans. It's been like Christmas morning every time out. We've had the Tank versus Ryan type of fights that bring out the younger fans or the crossover fans. We've had fights like Crawford versus Spence, which just brings out everybody because of the history at stake. This fight has a lot of those certain elements, bringing different fan bases together, and certainly the type of crossover fight that's going to wake up a few different audiences, because when you use certain names in boxing, oh yeah, they're household names way beyond boxing. Saul Canelo Alvarez is one of those names, and he's with us right now, the 4-division champion, one of the ambassadors of the sport, Saul, and I say that with respect for the way you carry yourself. There was a lot of respect up there from the face-off. Does that surprise you at all?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, but I like it. I like it because, you know, when two fighters are 100% on the fight. No, I know everybody like drama and like to see we talk shit about each other. But, you know, I like this kind of press conference because there's when you find out is 100% on the fight, right? And I like it.
Well, let's talk about the scouting report, because you thought, like we thought, that it was going to be Jermell Charlo next. There was a last-minute switch, and you're talking about raising the stakes. Now we have undisputed versus undisputed. How different is the preparation from one twin to another in these two great fighters?
We just focus on the fighter. We train 100%, but just focus on the style of the fighter. Just that's the only thing is changed.
I got a question. Since we're talking about the twins, Jermell, which one do you think is better?
I think Jermell is a better fighter. I don't know yet because I'm not being in the ring yet. But I think Jermell is a better fighter. That's what I think.
Yeah. Why?
Because his skills, he fought with better opposition.
Yeah.
So that's why.
By the way, your English is getting way better, man.
Thank you.
We could talk. We could hang out now and.
I try my best, and I never take.
Take some tequila shots.
I never take lessons. I just saw the TV in English and talk with my friends in English, and I don't care if I make mistakes. I think that's the way you learn, right?
Right. So Canelo, you've been solid. You've been solid at 168. You know, also as a light heavyweight. Do you think Jermell is getting a little bit over his head, thinking that he could move up 2 weight divisions and defeat Canelo Alvarez?
I don't know what he's thinking, to be honest, and I don't care. I just care about how I'm gonna train, and I'm gonna prepare myself for the best Charlo.
One thing I want to say is I'm fanning out right now. I'm a big fan, so I'm fanning out right now. I'm sitting next to you, but the professionalism that you show. I think that's what I respect a lot about you. You know, like you said, a lot of people come in and feel like you got to talk trash, or you got to demean a person to make yourself look good. I respect the fact that you only focus on what you have to do and not the nonsense. And Bud Crawford showed that as well. Is that refreshing to see in the boxing sport?
No, I love, like I say, I love respect your opponent because, you know, in the ring is different. But I like these kind of things because it's when you see you both are 100% of the fight. Because we can talk shit and we can fight here, but in the fight it's gonna be a boring fight, right? And so I like this kind of press conference because you don't need to make drama. You don't need to fight here. Everybody maybe do that because they want to sell more pay-per-views. I don't need it.
Yeah. Professionalism, that's all that matters.
Stack, I couldn't help but look at the way you guys are dressed, and you're always ahead of the curve. Saul in the silk, almost pajamas, man.
Hey, he always, Louis, he always clean.
I like that.
I try my best to.
But he puts others to sleep in that, in that regard.
Exactly.
Seriously, though, Saul, when we're talking about this challenge, you're always needing dangerous challenges to motivate you, to get you out of bed. You moved up and fought Bivol. We were watching highlights of your beautiful knockout of Sergey Kovalev from just a few years back. What is it about Jermell that gets you up early in the morning to train even harder?
I love boxing. I love what I do. That's motivate myself and by myself. And I have a really good fighter in front of me. And this fight, long time is in talks, right? Everybody, and he calling me out a lot of times. So, but for your question, I love boxing. I love what I do. I just being happy in the gym, running in the morning. I love it.
Regardless who you fight.
Yeah,
just love boxing.
I don't care who I fight. Yeah.
Canelo, I like that you admitted, you said that maybe your last couple of fights, you haven't looked that great or whatever. People criticize all the time. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, because I'm not able to train 100% with pads, with to throw my hands 100%. Because
your hands hurt?
Because my injury.
Oh, your injury, yes.
But right now, I'm 100% able to train 100% and hit hard in the gym and make that make me confident.
And this fight, this type of fight, motivates you more.
Motivate me and more I'm able to train 100%.
Right.
When I'm able to train 100%, I'm different.
Yeah.
Any different?
Because in your mind, you go into the fight and you say, I don't train like I used to.
Right.
Train.
Yes.
So it's a little bit difficult, and you play with your mind and everything. Right. But right now, I'm able to train 100%.
And when you go in the ring to boxing, you can't second guess yourself. You have to be focused and confident.
Focused and confident. And if you don't train your 100%, you don't.
You know it.
You don't confident 100%.
Yeah.
But you can handle, right?
Yes.
With different type of fight, but you can win a fight. But right now, I feel great. I feel great.
Any different? I mean, you used to fight in Cinco de Mayo, and then you used to fight in 10 de septiembre. But
16.
16 de septiembre, yes. But this is
You're Mexican.
No, I'm sorry, no.
Come on,
yeah. 16 de septiembre, yes. But this one's on the 30th of September.
Yeah.
It's different, huh?
Yeah, no, it's not
Does
different.
it make any
I
difference
think
to you?
for me, always, every day is Mexican day. Right?
Every day is Mexican day. I like that. Es todo.
I feel
Vámonos.
different. Every time I fought, I think it's the correct day. I don't care what day it is.
Come on, bro. You're Mexican. Can we put some respect on your hometown here?
It's almost the same. It's almost the same. Come on,
No,
Canelo.
it's not the same.
Oh, it's not the same?
Yeah.
We appreciate your time.
It's not the same red and black.
You're right.
Totally different.
Red and white.
You're right.
Different.
You're right.
Canelo, thank you for your time. Best of luck. You're back. You're healthy. Another breakthrough super fight. We can't wait to see it. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to meet
I
you.
appreciate it.
The
Thank you.
four
Gracias.
division champion and the four-belt king at 168 pounds, Canelo Alvarez. You heard from both fighters. Wow, September 30th cannot come fast enough. Guys, just a couple thoughts here before we close. This calendar year, 2023.
Been crazy.
We can keep tooting our horn here on Showtime pay-per-view for good reason, but there's something about this year, man. It's just different.
It's on fire, man. We got all this. We had the Caleb Plant with Canelo.
With Benavidez.
Benavidez and Tank Davis against Ryan Garcia, then Errol and Crawford. Now we got this fight. It's on fire. And big fights, super fights, and that's what we do on Showtime.
Yeah, indeed. And we talk about the crossover fights that can get into different living rooms. Stack, this one does have that feel. Like it's two different fan bases, two different styles of fighters finally coming together. It's going to wake up a lot of people.
It's going to wake up a lot of people, and it's great for the fans of boxing. You know, we've seen Errol Spence and Bud Crawford fight. We've seen that fight, but I think this fight is the perfect fight to come after that, to keep the boxing fans excited and keep them engaged to this great boxing year we're having.
You see the Iron Man, Jermell Charlo, Canelo Alvarez as well in the media scrums here. The first of a 2-day bi-coastal press conference tour is now in the books. Fired up for September 30th, Showtime pay-per-view at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. It's Undisputed versus Undisputed, the 168-pound championship at stake. I'm going to be there. You guys are going to be there.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Everyone's going to be there. But we're going to close with a little bit of fun here. You got a great Showtime digital vehicle. Of course, All the Smoke with Matt Barnes. We love that one. Right. But Fight Towns takes you on the inside. You've gone to Philadelphia. You've gone to Houston. There was a great sit-downs that you had with the Charlos, with this former champion right here. We've got some bonus extended clips we're going to throw to on the way out. But get fired up just the same for September 30th. Showtime's All Access next month debuting. It's going to be a 3-part installment. Enjoy the fight September 30th for Steven Jackson, Raul Marquez. It's Brian Campbell. Thank you so much. Canelo Alvarez, Jermell Charlo. Can't wait.
I know a lot about y'all, you know. Y'all been representing this Houston boxing scene for a minute. I spent the last 2 days with y'all. We already been cool. But it's been on y'all back for a minute.
Yeah, man, we always, you know, held Houston on our back, so, you know, the support here is real.
I just got to give a cool assessment, you know. I could probably date back to like 15 years of each other being a part of each other's life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I watched all Regis fights. I had parties to all his fights. Oceanique Foster, that was always our little go-getter, you know what I'm saying? He was a young one of our crew, and he's still with us, you know what I'm saying? He's still in it, and he from Orange. Like he said, we fought
the Triangle.
Yeah. He fought all our people and everybody that we knew. And then, you know, my brother was always like the big dog. He was a big motherfucker that was every weight heavier than us. We done went to tournaments together, small tournaments together, big tournaments together, silver gloves, golden gloves, Pan Americans. We done went to the Games of Texas, to the smallest things, you know what I'm saying? And
Texas Pepsi Games, that's all.
I'm really, actually, really honored to sit back next to Raul and hang out with him and his crazy ass, because he's from the H-Town, and I appreciate it. I appreciate this time taken out just to be able to reunite with my brother and just feel the energy that we all create. Reezy used to pick us up, no matter how late he started. He would bring us to the gym sometimes. He had a little Chrysler 300, but it was the one before it got nice, you know what I'm saying? He had the Sebring, you know what I'm saying? Sebring, he used to pick us up. We used to go to his summer camps and all this little stuff at school. So we had a great time growing up together, you know what I'm saying? And with the rough upbringing and a dog that's in us, it all reconnected together, and it created a monster within each other. So I see him being a champion and holding his grounds and him doing the same exact thing, you know, we all possibly gonna defend these titles that we have for Houston.
And that's the best thing about it. I think that's why I wanted to get this sit down. You know, not only I appreciate y'all for accepting me in the boxing world, you know, being a basketball player, you accepted me crazy, you know what I'm saying? We already had a relationship, and I appreciate y'all being here. But I wanted to give y'all flowers, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not many times where you can sit down with other boxers on the show and everybody's here getting their flowers and being able to control their own narrative. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people speak for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not able to tell y'all stories of where y'all come from and what y'all been through. You know what I'm saying? People tell it for y'all. So that's what Fight Times is, a chance for y'all to control y'all own narrative, just for us to shoot the shit, talk about what we want to talk about, man, and, you know what I'm saying, break bread together and give y'all flowers. So I appreciate y'all being there, too.
What a scene here in Sin City.
I always ready for a fight. Being undisputed. Very few fighters in history of boxing accomplish this.
Y'all know who Jermell Charlo is. I'm undisputed for a reason.
The first undisputed 154-pound champ.
What's next? Jermell Charlo and Canelo can easily happen.
That could be Canelo. We are on the cusp of boxing history. King Canelo Alvarez entering the ring.
En el boxeo hay niveles. Nunca he peleado con alguien como yo.
Ain't nothing easy in the ring with me. I got the speed, I got the power, I want all the smoke.
At the end of the day, I always win.
I'm not afraid of no man.
Pues el que no arriesga no gana.
It's about pride. It's about legacy. It's about history.
Canelo Alvarez takes on Jermell Charlo. September 30th on Showtime pay-per-view.
Showtime.